Anti-government protests have been continuing in Serbia for almost a year and a half now. The protesters oppose the ruling Serbian Progressive Party and the country's president Aleksandar Vučić. This weekend they are holding rallies across the country ahead of local elections that will be held by the end of March. To discuss the current situation of the student protest movement, I am joined today by Andrej Popović, the student of the Faculty of Law and a frequent participant of protests. On Saturday, student protester rallies are held in 10 cities across the country. What is the purpose of these rallies?
Well, the purpose of the rallies is to gather people and show them what we deem is a respectable opposition list for the upcoming elections.
What about these elections? Can you tell us a bit more about them?
Well, they are the regular elections that happen every 4 or 5 years.
These are local elections?
Those are local elections in 10 towns across the country. And we knew that they would be held this year, but it caught us a bit by surprise that they would be held in all the towns simultaneously. But so we adapt and we get to work on preparing, on letting people know what, visiting them.
Because what's at stake during these elections? There will be the representatives of the Serbian Progressive Party on the list in these local elections, and who? Are you on the list? Who's in the opposition?
No, officially the students are not on the list, and we cannot be a student cannot be on a political list for the elections. But there are students from multiple towns, for example, their hometown. They want to get involved in finding proper people, adequate people that they deem are worthy of governing the town and making the town a better place.
Mm-hmm. So the purpose of this rally, if I understand correctly, is to support the candidates that are outside the Serbian Progressive Party.
Yes. It's like the students from those towns, they gathered in a small group and are helping those political lists that have been formed as a proper opposition. Of course, on the elections there will be, let's say, the regular opposition that we got used to seeing on multiple elections that haven't done anything in the last 13 years, and of course the ruling party.
Okay, and would you say that these rallies are a continuation of the movement that started more than a year and a half ago?
Well, not exactly, because this is not created by us. We did not come up with the lists. It is just us showing support to the lists, and but we will be on the ground when the elections come and make sure that they go in the best way possible.
Okay, so what about the very movement that started after the concrete canopy of a railway station in Novi Sad collapsed in November 2024? It's been more than a year and a half almost, right? How has the movement changed over this time? Well,
we should go back to the very beginnings. As you said, the concrete canopy at the train station in Novi Sad collapsed. It is important to add that train station, at the time when the canopy collapsed, was from a legal standpoint still a construction site. So even though there was a grand opening of the train station held, the works still haven't been completed. So we have a case.
So it was operational even though it should not be operational, right?
Yeah, and even the documentation wasn't complete. So from a legal standpoint, it should have never been opened.
Okay, so why was it open?
That's a good question as you can ask. Probably to gather some political points or to, I don't know, get get some kind of cash flow through the trains that can now start to operate between Novi Sad and Belgrade.
So
and it is part of the project connecting train station for railway from Belgrade to Budapest. But yeah, from a legal standpoint, we have a case of 16 people dying on a construction site. And from that moment, the next day, we got protests, not actually rallies, it was protest in Novi Sad. And then at the end of November, between the canopy collapse and that end of November, once a week there were held 15 minutes of silence, because at the time there were only 15 victims. A 16th victim died later on from the injuries, unfortunately. But yeah, at the end of November we got an incident in front of the Faculty of Dramatic Arts. Progressive Party members appeared at that around noon when the 15 minutes of silence was being held.
Who do you mean by members? Were they politicians? Or?
No, not politicians. They were just party members, like not some kind of ministers or something like that. But yeah, they attacked students, they attacked professors.
Physically or verbally?
Physically attacked students and professors of the Faculty of Dramatic Arts. And the very next day, students of the Faculty of Dramatic Arts said that the faculty is now in the blockade. So they blocked the faculty, no lectures.
Because of this incident?
Because of that incident. They formed 3 fundamental demands. That was the documentation of the canopy to be revealed. Important to add, on the official government website, the documentation was not available. To prosecute the attackers and to drop charges against students that were involved in that incident, because they were not the ones attacking. Soon, the rest of the Belgrade University followed. University of Novi Sad followed University of Niš, University in Novi Pazar, Kragujevac, and so on. And soon, all of the faculties in all of the universities in Serbia were now in a blockade.
Where does this general opposition come from? Because I have a feeling that the collapse of a roof, of a canopy in a railway station was a catalyst of some previous situations that were building up over time.
Yeah, the Serbian Progressive Party is ruling for now soon will be 14 years. And in those 14 years, there were many scandals, many affairs. Most recently, we had a school shooting here in Belgrade that resulted in a death of 9 people, 1 school guard and 8 children. And in that, after that terrible event, there were again big protests called Serbia Against Violence. Also, the very next day, we had shootings near Belgrade. And it was just accumulating, that frustration, that anger, that when something terrible happens, there is nothing, no repercussions, nobody goes to prison for committing crimes. People that die at the pay station on a highway, also another terrible scandal.
How would you call the main reason behind the protest? Would that be corruption, no responsibility?
Yeah, it's corruption, it's irresponsibility, it is pretty much everything bad that you can sum up from every single bad government that you've had in Europe for the past, 50 years. You can sum it up all into one, and you have what we have here. And after all the faculties have entered the blockade, we demanded answers. Why did the canopy collapse? Why were the students attacked? Still no answers. Later on, we found out that the universities and faculties are massively underfunded. We had, as you said, big protests across the country. We had big protest here in Belgrade that lasted 24 hours. Then we went to Novi Sad by foot, held another protest that lasted 24 hours.
And during these protests, you kept presenting your demands. One of these demands was to call for snap parliamentary elections, and they are going to happen. Do you have a feeling that the Serbian Progressive Party and President Aleksandar Vučić bowed down to your demands?
The demand that you're talking about came a bit later, because at the last of those big rallies that we've had from January to March, the biggest one that was held on the 15th of March, we had a mysterious event where, as it is confirmed by some of the, let's say...
The sonic weapon, right?
Yeah.
So what about it? What happened with the sonic weapon?
At the protest, we had our, let's say now, traditional 15 minutes of silence. I think at that point it was 16 minutes. And before the end, at about 12-minute mark, 11-minute mark, there was a harrowing noise, let's call it like that, that created a massive panic, and people were absolutely shocked. They thought that they were being run over by a tank or a fighter jet, or something terrible is going to happen. And officially, the country of Serbia, our police, our military, they didn't say that they possessed such a weapon, and it was used. A sonic weapon was used on bare-handed citizens.
Do you have a tangible proof that they actually had that weapon?
As far as we know, certain agencies that are working with such things, such as sound or sonic weapons, from multiple footage, audio and video footage, they have, as far as I know, confirmed that it was a sonic weapon that was used.
And after that, you came up with the demand of snap elections. You're going to have them, so let me come back. Do you have a feeling that the ruling party and the president bowed down to your demand?
I think they have not explicitly. They are aware that we are preparing for the elections. We have been preparing for the elections since we demanded for them. That was, as far as I remember, on the 4th of May. Since then, they have been preparing secretly for the elections. We see that many projects that are being started, are being completed. At every single appearance of the president or the ministers, they are mentioning how they are good, we are bad. They are doing everything better than we could ever do.
So the build-up is being created for the elections that will come end of 2026, maybe beginning of 2027. One last question, what can we expect from the student movement during these elections?
You can expect us to come up with a list of brilliant people, and you can expect us to do everything it takes for the elections to be legal, for the elections not to have any kind of malversations or stuff like that. So it is going to be a difficult day, I would say, the election day. The tension will be in the air, and we know that we potentially outnumber them by a lot, even though they like to say that we don't.
Are lists already prepared?
We do not share those kind of information. We will share that information when the elections are called.
Thank you. My guest was Andrej Popović, the student of the Faculty of Law and a participant in student protests. I'm Paweł Trzaskowski, and you're watching World Talks.